Wuthering Waves currently has a big misinformation problem. Now, you might not know what I mean because there's been a couple of things that kind of popped up ever since this whole version 2.3 drama has kind of gone on. Now, if you don't know, there's been this whole kind of situation with a ton of different factors coming in about, stuff to do with the anniversary, and we've also had the censorship drama in the past, which again has kind of blown up the community quite a bit. And obviously, there's been kind of mixed opinions on whether, the anniversary awards were good enough, everything like that. Now, obviously, Wuthering Waves actually responded to a lot of the stuff that was going on, but they also added an extra message down below where some people were actually adding some misinformation into the community, which they had to respond to. And obviously, they said it has come to our attention that certain unauthorized screenshots of the in-game event page have been circulating in the community. We've confirmed that in internal review, these were illegally leaked screenshots of WIP assets from the early development stage of version 2.3 for the Gilded Night Market event. Please note that relevant compensation mentioned in our previous announcement will be issued via a dedicated login event, which is currently under development and scheduled to launch within this week. Rewards will be claimable with this login event. The start time will be shared later in a separate announcement. So again, this is pretty much regarding a screenshot which was floating around whenever all of this drama was going about the fact that, they planned this all along. People were saying that they planned this, which again, just isn't the case at all. I feel like you're pretty delusional if you do think that and you do believe that. But again, there were screenshots floating around of some leaked stuff or whatever of a kind of tab in the events tab showing off that it was already there and that, the event was already there, the one that they actually used to compensate a lot of the, players. But I do think it was for something separate. As they said, it was for something to do with the Gilded Night Market, which is a different event. And as you can see in the actual live stream itself, they do say that, you're going to get pools with the Gilded Night Market event. So again, I feel like it was just one of those things where, it was just early in development. And obviously, this is why we should never trust leakers in the first place. It's just due to the fact that they get a lot of info wrong. They misunderstand a lot of it. And especially as we've seen with the, the original kind of drama going on with the rewards, but also with this as well. They've gotten this wrong as well, which means that, people's trust in these kind of people is going down, which honestly is even better for Kuro Games at the moment. Now, obviously, yes, I feel like a lot of this kind of stuff isn't the leakers' fault, and I feel like, a lot of the bad rewards aren't leakers' faults, but they definitely do amplify the damage, I guess, to the community that is done whenever, they set these kind of expectations in people's minds. Now, obviously, we've got even more misinformation coming out, which is kind of separate from the anniversary event, but it's kind of tied in the sense that, a lot of this kind of stuff is just coming out all at the same time, and this is a Hoyo shield apparently lying on a Chinese website, pretty much saying that Kuro forced her to dive down even though she didn't know how to dive. She almost drowned but was saved by a safety officer. The cause herself responded she was a professional diver. Safety officers were as a legal requirement. She was not saved by a safety officer. So again, as you can see here, there's actually a cosplay thing going on with obviously Rover on the outside of the tank and then Cantarella in the middle. It's a very artistic and interesting kind of piece that they've done there, and honestly I think it looks great. But obviously a lot of people were speculating the fact that maybe she was having some issues down there, or maybe that she was forced by Kuro Games to dive down there, which is apparently what these people on Bilibili were saying F Kuro, force ordinary cosplayers to go diving. I only took a cosplay job and no one told me there was a risk of drowning. They're saying I'm a professional diver, and then this is the person responding, by the way. I'm a professional diver and it is a legal requirement for a safety officer to be down there with her whenever she performs. That is not a picture of me being rescued by the safety officer. It's just one of him being down there, which again, it's definitely where a lot of this misinformation is coming from, and obviously people are attacking Kuro Games for this. But it just makes no sense because again, it's just people lying straight up about this kind of stuff. And I could definitely see the factor of, due to safety, they need someone down there to kind of pull them up just in case something bad does happen, which honestly is a pretty normal kind of standard for safety in general. And I feel like, people getting angry at that are just kind of stupid. And I feel like, yeah, it seems like, she says that she is a professional diver. So again, there is some kind of aspect to it where, she knows what she's doing, she knows her limits whenever it comes to this kind of stuff. And there's just people, spreading misinformation saying that they forced her to drown and things. They say Hoyoshio, who's willing to sacrifice his life for Hoyoverse, is spreading another false news about another Hoyoshio, something or other, who is spreading rumors that a cosplay was almost drowned, which again, yeah, they are doing some other things as well. I think this was the same account. I think if we look at the profile pictures of the accounts, oh no, wait, we can't even see it. But again, they're saying another horror show was pretty much going around, spreading fake screenshots of them messaging Peggy to change the age rating. That was from the original kind of censorship drama, which went on, which was kind of crazy. And obviously, yeah, there's even more screenshots here of the diver down next to her, and that's her just literally just doing a diving thing. Obviously, if there's any problems, the diver would have got her back up. Or maybe even she could get herself back up because, again, she is a professional diver. And it seems like a lot of people are just going very aggro on Wuthering Waves at the moment. It seems like almost like open season whenever it comes to literally anything anti-Wuthering Waves due to a lot of this stuff that's going on. Now, honestly, I think it's fine. It's just a shift in how the community is kind of working at the moment. It is a shame that they are catching a lot of this due to just a little bit of a kind of reward drama or whatever. But, you know, it is, like, very, very clear that a lot of people are taking this opportunity to spread a lot of misinformation about the game, including some other people over in the Ian community, which I'm not really going to mention in this video. But, yeah, you guys can probably remember who it is due to some recent drama, not recent drama, some old drama that I used to have with them. But again, there's a lot of situations of this happening pretty much everywhere, of people spreading these lies. You know, people down here in the comments of this post that Wuthering Waves put out saying, this is another reason not to trust leaks. It's a work in progress until the studio is done with it, which is definitely true. Some people are there arguing at the fact that, like, oh, it's been there in the leaks, it's been there in the pre-release, you know, we've got to be given it, we've got to be given this, we've got to be given that. No, that is not the case. It is obviously, you know, they've leaked it before the Wuthering Waves developers have even planned to release it. You know, they all have plans, schedules on how they release things, on how they announce things and everything like that, to make the perfect product possible and also keep it within guidelines of whatever, you know, they've got. And obviously people leaking it before they've even managed to, you know, finish that process is going to create a lot of confusion. And, you know, that is why leakers are ultimately bad for the community in general, not just for the situation. I'm not saying, oh, we should just deflect all hate on leakers or anything like that. No, no, no. There's still been a big problem with how Wuthering Waves conducted themselves in terms of handing out rewards and everything like that, which is a big issue. But I do think that it has been a big issue in the community before this even began. Back in 1.0, back in literally, you know, earlier versions, leakers have always been a big problem in this game due to the fact of a lot of people believing them like, you know, they're God, which is kind of crazy. Now, obviously, they're saying, reminder to never trust unofficial sources. It is Kuro Games himself who leaks many things on purpose, which, again, is just so dumb. If you believe that, if you believe that Kuro Games are the ones doing this on purpose, I'm sorry, but, like, you got to take a look at a lot of the kind of damage that has happened to the community already due to something like this happening. I mean, you can argue the fact that, you know, well, some people have been arguing the fact that, you know, Kuro Games have done this on purpose so that they can make a kind of apology thing like this, and people can say devs listened and get some more rewards and whatever, and it was their intention to give the rewards all along. But whenever you look at the damage it's already done to the community in terms of how people are fighting, in terms of people, you know, some people have even left the game over this already and aren't coming back because, again, they don't see enough change or whatever for themselves. You know, I don't think it is a kind of planned Kuro Games thing. That's a pretty stupid business decision if that is, because they've just lost a lot of their people and they've also just inflamed their community even further. You know, what would have been nice is originally just adding the 30 pools onto the current pools that we've already gotten, and I think a lot of people would have been much happier with that, and it would have been fine. But obviously, yeah, this is a different situation, and I feel like it is just Wuthering Waves, you know, just messing up. You know, it's something that Wuthering Waves have done often. They've done it since the start of the game, and maybe there's a lot of people new to this game. Maybe there's a lot of people that haven't come over from maybe the PS5 version, or maybe come over just during another update or the rinascita update because they found it interesting, who don't know about the history of Wuthering Waves and how many times they have messed up in the past and have issued apologies like this in the past. It's a common thing, not because it's planned. It's a common thing because Wuthering Waves and Kuro Games mess up quite a bit, and it's just a very, you know, important fact. And it's okay to mess up, you know, it's fine as long as the end product is, you know, something that people enjoy, something that people want. You know, they mess up, they issue an apology, they give a fix to it, and then it's all done. You know, a lot of people arguing the fact that we can't keep letting them get away with this and stuff like that. No, that's not the case. The game's not even out yet, you know, and they're already issuing kind of fixes to it, you know. They're still trying to add a lot of fixes to the game. They're still trying to improve the game quite a bit, and I feel like a lot of people are just taking this way too far. But yeah, that was pretty much all the misinformation that I've seen spread on Wuthering Waves today. I'll definitely keep you guys updated if there's anything else coming out, especially from the Chinese side, because obviously this one is from the Chinese side, and they seem to be getting pretty angry at a lot of this kind of stuff. So again, I'll let you know if anything else happens in the future, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Also, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, go to Game Subs, and yeah, see ya.